Alright, so the Warlock Super is one of the most damaging burst supers in the game right now. So I've been trying to create a build to regenerate super energy as quickly as possible. Typically for this, Warlocks rely on their grenades, stacking ashes to asset mods, and also pairing with whatever exotic is going to help them get their grenade back quicker for whatever subclass they're using. However, with Strand, grenades behave a little differently with the mods, since Strand grenades are not your typical throw grenade to do damage grenades. So far there have been two popular Strand builds, either a suspend build where you use your grenade to suspend everything, or hatchling builds where you're trying to create as many hatchlings as possible, which means ideally you should be consuming your grenade to spawn 5 hatchlings instead of throwing it, which only gives you 3. However, ashes to assets only procs when you throw your hatchling grenade, so this is not really ideal. So this is where the grapple grenade comes in. This one is pretty unique because it's in your grenade slot. However, you're doing damage by doing a melee when you get close to the targets. This also spawns 3 hatchlings. So that brings the question, what is best for super regen? Is it ashes to assets, or is it actually hands-on? So I've done some testing to find out. For each test, I will drain my super and then run into the slaw sector and grapple melee onto the same 3 goblins each time. So this first one, I have 0 mods equipped, just to give us a baseline. So as you can see, there was not much gained from that initial hit whatsoever. And now we have 1 ashes to assets. And you can see that it almost gets into the melee bar from that initial hit. So that's pretty good. Now we'll go into 2 ashes to assets and let's see what happens. So basically exactly at the melee bar. So it did stack slightly. So now let's do 3 ashes to assets and see how much it stacks. It gets us slightly into the melee, so slightly more than 2, but it's definitely a diminishing return. And now we'll go see what 1 hands-on mod does. And it does proc. It does not give us too much though. It's about half of the grenade build, a little bit extra. So now we have 2 hands-on, so let's see how well they stack with each other. It is slightly more than just 1. Okay, so now we'll go into 3 hands-on. And it gets about 3/4 through the grenade bar, so still not too great compared to the ashes to assets. So now let's try combining them. This is 1 hands-on and 1 ashes to assets. Okay, so that actually gets us into the melee bar quite a bit. So that's our best yet so far. Okay, so what does 2 ashes to assets and hands-on do? That does stack. It does get us almost to the midway through the melee bar on that initial contact. So that is technically the best one. Okay, so I took a screen grab after each initial hit when doing the testing. As you can see, ashes to assets is definitely better than hands-on. Both of them do stack, but they have quite a bit of diminishing returns. However, if you put 1 of each on there, you get the initial benefit from both of them. So I would recommend doing that. I know the best is to do 2 ashes to asset and 1 hands-on. However, I would much rather use that 3rd mod slot for something like heavy ammo finder or a strand siphon, or this season you have the artifact mod that does the strand and void siphon combined. So that's what I'll likely be using. I would also recommend using Varity's Brow with this, because you will get the extra grenade regen if you're pairing it with a strand weapon. and the increased grenade ability does increase the melee damage that the grapple melee does do. So that's what I'm going to be using for this build. Anyways, if you found this video helpful and would like to see the final build, please like and subscribe. See y'all.